right, it's live now.
Now it's going because that's
Okay. All right. This is well, it's a bunch of people in front right now. SBR Valentine. Valentine is a registered saddlebred mare, and we have the papers. She was purchased from a buyer, which meant that she was en route at some point to the slaughter. The thing that we were full when we got her, but the thing that made me really interested in her was that the breeder happened to be somebody that I knew from when I lived in Illinois, and was very supportive of the saddlebred industry as well as saddlebred rescue. So when I find horses that are bred by, owned by, or something, some of the people that have been very supportive, I will buy their horses if at all possible, as long as they're in our price range. So we bought her, and I did a little homework, and she'd been started, and as a 3-year-old, she got sold into a show home and went to Kentucky, but when she got down there, somehow she never showed. She is very, kind of an old-time bred mare. She's by Lunar Fire, or a son of Lunar Fire, I can't remember. I think she's by Lunar Fire. But like I said, it could have been a son of him. And, which I've had very good luck with those horses. They are sane, the ones that I've had game. They're not overly big. And Valentine is not a big mare. Now, the cool part about her is you can see she's real hairy. I think she's 21 this year. She's sound, and I'm not sure whether she was on the road or whether she was used for a brood mare, because she doesn't have a lot of the signs for a horse that's been on the road very much. We rode her and worked her quite a bit at first, and then started getting a bunch of horses in, and so since she was broke pretty well, she is a game mare, but not stupid. Not silly at all, but she does have a big motor. In her heart, she believes she's a true show horse. What we found out about her, she's really cute. When you shoe her up right now, she's barefoot. So anything you see her do is not going to be overly exciting because she is barefoot. But what we did discover is that she wears her head in a really good spot. Sorry about the camera shaking. I'm putting a handle on this so I can hang on to it a little easier. She is really cute, and for equitation and academy, the mare wears her head in a good spot, doesn't move around, and your legs do not move on her. She's a little quicker strided mare, a little shorter strided, and for equitation, you can't go wrong with a horse that canters a little quicker or trots a little quicker like that. She sets a rider off, so I think her sweet spot is either a practice show horse or an academy, more advanced rider academy. She does walk, trot, and canter. We had her cantering pretty nice, and then we kind of put her on the back burner, and so we haven't worked it in a while. So this ride is after she gets groomed and taken care of, but it's after a couple months of not working her. She does come in and out. They do get handled. They get their blankets on and off and all that, and they're not warehoused. We just kind of have to. You can see she's a little anxious because she hasn't been in every day. Hair. No. Yeah, we're going to teach her that's not a good thing to do. So she's a little worried in her brain about what's going on, what are we doing, because she doesn't come in every day. But I wanted to get all the horses because we've lost all of our... No, don't let her do that. Jason, don't let her do that. Tell her no. This, Francisco, this is no bueno. Yeah. So when she does this, going to stop her? See, she's a little worried. Once she's in every day, she is not. So I don't expect to have the best ride. I don't mind if you see her being really game or something, because that's the worst she'll be, not the best. We have not been out here working these horses secretively and not videoing them, and then you never see them. And then they come out and they look like they're just doing everything perfect because we've been working and drilling and practicing. We don't do that. We get them in. If we have to put them on the back burner, we do. When we get them in, you get to see it. But right now, I want all of our horses to be able to have their videos on YouTube, which will not go away. And we don't take them down after they're placed, so that if you want to go back, you adopt a horse and you want to go back and see what we said about her or whatever, you can. And that's every horse, not just her. Right now he's finding some mud underneath her. She's hairy. She is not on any Cushing's medicine or thyroid, or she's not on Equiox. She's on nothing. And we do not tranquilize these horses ever to ride them, to handle them. The only time they'll get tranquilized is if the vet or the farrier or the tooth guy needs it done, something like that. We only have one horse out of our tons of horses that we have, and that's a show pony that needs a tranquilizer to reset him on one hind foot. None of the other horses even get that with our farriers. So he's making sure he gets all that mud off. Anytime you have a hairy horse and it's muddy like it has been, you can end up with stuff on there. She's being a little particular. She didn't like him picking that mud off her tummy. So she was telling him in kind of a half. She didn't like that. But that doesn't matter. It has to be done. Jason, help him get that horse ready. Help him get Max ready and get the harness and stuff done. When we're doing this, we have so many horses here. Both show horses, my horses, customer horses, and even more rescues, that we cannot shut the barn down and work in a totally quiet, there she's no way no. In a totally quiet environment, and you hear a noise in the background, kind of sounds like a jet engine here. That's the torpedo heater, because we do not body clip rescues unless absolutely necessary. And they have to get dry. If you don't dry them off after you work them, they will get fungus and rain rot and skin scuzz and every other name you can make up. And we make sure that they learn to stand in front of the torpedo heater. Do you need help?
Yeah.
Okay. Dee? Dee can't hear me right now. She's down by the monster. Dee, can you hold him for her for a minute? Just put that on her and have her stand there and pat her a little bit. Let her relax. She's worried. You can leave her tied up. Just have her relax a little bit. So going back to, we do not body clip these horses. And my main fear is, yes, we can body clip them. And we would get blankets and blanket them up if they got turned out, and clean them up, the whole schmear. However, if they get adopted, there are a lot of people that do not want their horse body clipped and have nowhere to put them but outside. So we cannot body clip. This is a rule that I have, one of my 189th rule. We do not body clip these horses because I'm worried that they will get placed and not have a proper place to go when they are body clipped. to stay warm. So we have the alternative is blow dry them with the torpedo heater, which you see there, and you see with the cooler on and the torpedo heater blowing up underneath that cooler a little bit, and that will help dry them off, and then we brush them and put them away. After we work these horses and we brush them and put them away, we put them back in their stalls. They don't go back outside. He's going to towel her. So you notice when Dee stood there, she started calming down, and that's what we're going for. Once she's coming in and worked on a regular basis, she doesn't do this. At least I don't think she did she? She stood, she always fussed? Dee said she's always fussed a little bit. And then, before you do all that, let's clip her. Because everybody wants to know how those horses clip. A lot of these horses are horses that won't stand still or whatever. They will stand tied in their stall. Is everybody okay? Do you hear the horse? Who's doing that?
Kitty and Kid are in disagreement.
Oh, do they need to be moved? Okay.
Kitty doesn't like Kid looking at her.
Will she be on the other wall? Who's over there that doesn't care? Alright, switch her and keep me. Now he's going to clip her, see how she clips. We're not doing a great job. We're not doing to shape her head. We're doing the bridle path and whiskers a little bit to just make it easier, and also to show you that what they do when we clip them. See, she's pretty good. So this mare is registered. It's an American Saddlebred, of course. She is 21, and we do have her papers, and she is not a beginner horse by any stretch of the imagination. She is not a tricky horse, but she is game. She's got a big motor in there, and she likes to go forward. The more you work her on a regular basis, the more relaxed she becomes, and you stop dealing with unnecessary nerves. We have had her out, and because I know that she needs a little work before the kids ride her, we've got some pretty good jockeys here. I call them kids, they're 18, but Kara is loved riding this mare and still asks to ride her. Can I ride Valentine? Can I ride Valentine? And because we haven't gotten around to her, I tell her you're going to have to wait until we can get her in and, give her a shot to be really good. We try to set them up to succeed, but unfortunately, when we have people looking at horses, we tend to focus on those horses, and unless this mare would fit in what they're looking for, then she gets pushed back a little bit. We do need to measure her too. I'm guessing 15 hands, maybe. She's not a pony. I do know that. You can see she's standing really good to do that. We are going to leave a forelock on her. which is why I wondered if she had been on a road at all, because she came in with a forelock, which makes me think they may have been breeding her. And not all the Amish will register their colts. I think the Breed Association is working on something to encourage them to start registering colts. She's not silly with that at all. The mare isn't silly about anything that we found out. She does have quite a bit of energy. That's good. Yeah, very nice. You'll probably have to lunge her before you ride her just to get some of that energy out. Once we start putting her in a regular work schedule, we do not lunge her before we ride her. But we are going to hear, because it's been I'd say at least a couple months since she's been worked. And, we had the holidays, which always is hard because we have a day off in the middle of the week, which puts us behind. We had the last few shows in a row that puts us a little behind where we were gone, and that put us a couple months that she was taken care of, don't get me wrong, but she wasn't worked. This is a German martingale that we're putting on her. Is that a shorter one? Okay. It's a German martingale, not a tie down. I know you people who watch us all the time are probably fed up of hearing me say that, but you have to understand, I'm tired of people that get on there and think they know everything and think they know all about horses, and then have a cow because you've got a tie down on that horse. And I have never, ever used a tie down, ever. There's something I am not thrilled with. I don't like anything that you cannot turn loose of, because it's pressure and relief. If your horse gets too much pressure and they kind of get boxed in a corner, meaning figuratively, not literally, and you cannot turn loose of the pressure that they're upset about, it's a good way to get a person or a horse hurt. And I've always felt that way. And we've never done tie downs. Now, there are disciplines where they use them all the time, and I'm not knocking them, whatever they do, and that's their expertise. With what I do and my expertise, I do not use them, because I do not have the expertise with that piece of equipment, and to me, it doesn't work with my training methods. But I'm not knocking anybody for doing it. Ruger, stop. Ruger goes, I'm bored. I'm going to bother all the dogs now. We're putting a breast collar on because occasionally some of these horses, the saddles start sliding back. And it's easier to put leave the breast collar on Dee's saddle than it is take it on and off and on and off, and then get on a horse and ride, and then find out your saddle slid back, so you have to get off, move your saddle up, and with longer hair and everything, you got to make sure the hair's laying flat, and then go get the martingale and all that junk. So she leaves it on her saddle, and then it's there if we need it. You can always loosen it up if you don't want it. She is riding in a snaffle, and something to note is I do not use canvases until we show or we're getting ready to show. And the reason, and if we do, like if this mare was to go to a tournament show or academy show or something like that, and we were to take her, she would have a canvassing on for the bridle because it's required, but it would be loose. And the reason I do that is a lot of these horses come in and have bad teeth. They're not level. They're wavy. they have points and sharp edges and everything. And the worst thing you can do with a horse with teeth that aren't very good is to clamp their mouth shut, because it can really tear up their mouth in the back, bite their tongue and their cheeks and everything else. So we do not put it on, and then we give and take and ride, preferably so they don't gap their mouth. If they do, I teach the riders to soften up. They're kind of telling us maybe that's a little much, and eventually their mouths are closed. We've never had a problem with a horse not keeping their mouth closed when we show. So again, what works in my training program may not work in your trainer's program or your program, but it does work for us, and I'm just explaining it. And one of the things you have to remember is just because we're different does not make us wrong. And I look at you people the same way. I wouldn't do that, but if you have good luck in doing that and that works with your training methods or your riding style, I'm not going to necessarily say it's wrong just because it's different. And what we need to realize, and I'm going to go out on I'm going to preach here a little bit, what we need to realize is these horses, they're all horses. And when you give PETA and the trolls on the internet anything to complain about, they will complain about every single horse until they're all running wild, and even that nobody can agree on. So she's going to go out and lunch. Just a minute, I want Jason to... Dee, you need to take her out so he can get Max unhooked. Okay, she's going to go out in the ring, and I'm going to have Jason video. And then he will download the riding video later. So I'm going to stop this, and he will do another video of him under saddle. And the reason is they're going to bring another horse in, and I need to be able to video.